Here we go then, Monday night, and it's a biggie at Burnley. Leeds United taking on Burnley at Turf Moor over the Pennines. 8 o'clock kickoff. This match is available in selected territories. You can get your Matchday pass from the LUTV website. I am very excited for this one. I'm sure you are as well. And joining us in the studio, Simon Grayson, former Leeds United manager, former Leeds United striker, Michael Bridges with us as well. This feels like it's quite a big game, doesn't it? I mean, you know, everything in context and all, but given what we've seen over the last couple of days with other teams around us up at the top, Simon, this is a big one.
Yeah, obviously everybody knows where we are in the division, where Burnley are. Added to, like you mentioned, the results going for us over the weekend. Nobody really expected Hull to beat Sheffield United and then Sunderland dropping points at home to Plymouth. But Daniel's sort of philosophy has always been control what you can control, and that's looking after your own team, going to Burnley and getting a positive result, however that comes about. But yeah, huge game, and everybody knows the significance of it, because it could be a big marker for us if we win tonight. 6 points clear of Burnley, but a signal out to the rest of the division. Yeah,
see Ethan Ampadu leading the team in there. We'll hear from him shortly. You talk about controlling the controllables. I'm an out-of-control Leeds United fan, given those results over the last couple of days. Bridgie, I'm needing to rein myself in, but for the players, it's business as usual. It's another big game.
Another big game. They can't come thick and fast enough at this moment in time, the way Leeds are playing. You know, Simon's mentioned there, you can send a message to the rest of the league when you get this result against Burnley. These are the games you thrive on when you're a player, when you're a manager, when you're coaching. You've got to beat the teams that are in and around you when you're at the top, and obviously teams that are in relegation battles. So they're all 6-pointers, and I'm really excited about this because Burnley at home this season have been magnificent. You know, probably I think they've got the best defensive goals against. You know, only conceding 9 in 28 matches. They're very, very good, and they're coming up against a team in Leeds United who we are free-flowing football, scoring goals at will, and something's got to give, and it's a big opportunity and a big challenge. Can we go there and be the first team to inflict a defeat on Burnley? And that's what you relish.
The other big thing about it is as well is that we owe them for the earlier part of the season.
Yeah.
They came here and beat us 1-0, I think it was. So I think that'll be in the players' minds and the coach's mind as well.
Yeah, I can confirm, although we saw Ethan Ampadu walking back out there, whether he's forgotten something on the bus or something like that.
He's forgot your interview.
He's gone out to do that. But it's got all the ingredients, this one, doesn't it? And that's what we're looking in matches. Not only is it two teams at the top, but like you say, it's the best defensive record against the best attack. And actually, when you look at the attack, we scored, I think it's about 17 more goals than them this season. It's two managers who've done it at this level as well, and two sets of fans that are expecting big things and great things from their teams tonight.
Yeah, both managers looking for the third promotion from this level into the Premier League. And it's going to be interesting how the game goes, how it starts off. Burnley sort of with the home crowd, are they going to be bringing the game to us, which will probably open it up a little for us, or will they sit back and be very defensive? I'm quite intrigued how the tactics are going to sort of pan out, especially early on in the game.
Yeah,
what an interview midweek with Conor Roberts. Used to be here for a little bit. Obviously now back at Burnley. He was there under Vincent Kompany. He was saying, gone are the days when he was bombing on to join in the attacks. They've got that defensive unit under Scott Parker now, where it's about keeping a level head and defending. That is their first choice. So him doing that and saying that they've got to be more defensive now, understands why Scotty Parker has got this team defensively sorted. But man, when you come up against the quality of players that we've got, we score goals from all areas. We've got counter-attack, we've got the possession-based, we've got deliveries into the box, and we're sharing the goals around, which I think has been part of the success this season, because we can change games from the bench as well.
Yeah. Let's get this out of the way nice and early. Of course, Leeds United going for a win tonight, Bridgie. We're all looking for a win tonight, aren't we, for Leeds United?
Well, some of us are, because there's records on the line. It's
Absolutely.
all about keeping records. The man sitting next to me obviously holds a lot. Simon, what result would you like tonight?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like a Leeds United win, but from a purely selfish point of view, somebody messaged me the other day saying if Daniel won his last 2 games, Norwich and tonight, he becomes the first Leeds manager to win 50 games, or the quickest to get there. And I've got that record at this moment in time.
So we'll have a draw tonight for you, personally, and then a win at the weekend?
Yeah, well, a draw or a win, it's a win-win situation. But a draw tonight and win.
We had a good laugh this afternoon. We went and met a few of the away fans who were in the Eddie Grace lounge at the ground. They were getting themselves all the steaks and the drinks into them. And then they were heading across, and we had a good laugh with them, talking about the records and what to expect. And I just saw Simon's face there light up, and he was like, oh... So it's a good opportunity for Leeds to go over there and do something special. Now, I'm sorry, Simon, I hope they get the record.
No, but also, if you're going to lose a record, you're going to lose it to a good coach like Daniel and going to be a championship winning promotion team. So if I lose a record, I'll be more than happy.
You're saying all the right things. It would be 50 in 86 games. You've done it in 87. But what I do want to say in that, and you know this from experience, that's not an easy feat to manage. That is quite incredible.
Look, in all seriousness, what he's done, this is at championship level, where I was doing it in League One. It's a different level that you're up against and better quality players. So full credit to Daniel what he's done. And you're talking about this period of time that he's had at this football club. He's been really successful, and people sometimes moan about the style of football. We're not expansive enough, but I'm not quite sure how you can be the leading goal scorers in the division and not be expansive enough. I get people maybe want a few more shots, a few more crosses, but you can't take away the work that he's done and what he could still achieve at this football club given the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, it's all about hopefully 3 points tonight for Leeds United and potentially that record in store for Daniel Farke, but a long way and a lot of football to be played between then and now. We'll bring you the team news in just a moment and discuss that, but before we do, let's hear from an influential player in the Leeds United camp. Here's the thoughts pre-match of our captain, Ethan Ampadu.
Well, Ethan, this has the look of a big game tonight. Does it feel like that?
Yeah, no, of course. We understand and accept a lot of the external noise around this game with maybe how results have gone, but for us this is a game like just the other ones. We go into every game with the confidence to win. We want to go win every game. We want to go improve ourselves in every game, and this is another great opportunity for it.
They've certainly been very hard to beat here, haven't they? Nobody's managed it yet.
No, of course. They're a solid team. Their defence is solid. They work hard. It's going to be a difficult game. They're obviously fighting for the same thing as us. So that's two good sides, but like I just said, we have full confidence ourselves that we can go do a job.
They managed to do that job at Elland Road. Do you feel you owe them one on that basis?
It's harsh to take like personal sort of things and like that. Of course we want to go put that right, but tonight we're a different game. We learned from things in that game where we didn't do quite as well as we should have, so tonight it's about putting that right, and like I said, we're going into tonight with full of confidence.
Ethan Ampadu there at Turf Moor, although it does look a little bit like one of those Zoom backdrops where you just decide where you want to be and pop that on the background. They've gone for graffiti, it's looking good. Look, there he is, Ethan Ampadu. We know that Pascal's out at the moment. Worth saying, good news on the Pascal front. There was that fear that it might be longer term. It looks like it's not going to be a long-term injury, but today Ethan Ampadu will sit next to Joe Rodon in the heart defence, Simon.
Look, he's been so influential since he's come to the football club, proved his worth last year, played midfield and then back to centre-back position, and again started the season really well. Unfortunately had that injury, but then since he's come back in midfield and the last few games in centre-back, he's got that leadership. He's got so much experience from being a Welsh international and the clubs that he's played at before. I think he's a top player, and he has a little bit of everything. He's got good composure on the ball, but he knows when to make a tackle and he knows how to look after his teammates. And as a captain, he's a leader. Yeah, I think he's been really good.
He built up an unbelievable partnership with Joe Rodon last season when I think they went 9 games, clean sheets in a row when the two of them were playing centre-half together. So it's not foreign for him. And like Simon said, he's a leader. He'll understand the experience. Them two boys will play together and they know they've got a job in their hands tonight. Managerially
speaking, Simon, how important is it to know that you've got leaders who you can send out? Because presumably once you send those players out, you know, you've given a pre-match message, you know what they want to go and do, but you also need those calm-headed players to be able to just make sure it's all going as it's supposed to.
Well, I think in modern day football now, leaders are a dying breed. So when you've got someone like Ampadu there, he's doing your job for you. He's galvanising the players around him. He's talking through sort of the instructions that probably other players have maybe forgot about. Because no criticism of modern day players in general, but they always look across to the bench when things are not quite going the way. They're trying to they don't find the solutions themselves. But when you've got a captain that is sort of instrumental and passing on the advice to some of the younger players, because we've got quite a young team out there as well, some experienced players in Sam and others. But yeah, I think if you can have as many leaders in your team, it can only help, because it is a dying breed of football at this moment in time.
One change from the team that defeated Norwich 2-0, and it's in midfield. Joe Rothwell is on the bench tonight, and it's Ilya Gruev who gets the nod. So it's Gruev and Tanaka ahead of Rodon and Ampadu. Bridgie, what do you think is seen in that partnership, specifically maybe for this game? he's got riches of talent as we know it in those areas. But why do you think those players tonight?
I mean, what we do lose from Rothwell is his distribution on the ball. He's passing from that central position into wide areas. He's got that. His distribution from set players. But I think with Gruev, what you get with the two of them, him and Tanaka, you get a lot more of that defensive security. And I think Simon will be with two centre halves playing with two defensive midfielders in front of you that are full of energy and full of legs. But it's that defensive block of four in that central area. I think that's where you're worried in the defensive transition moments, because that's where Burnley hurt us last time. So I think that you've got a better defensive setup with Gruev in there. And I just think his ball distribution as well, his retention, the stats that I saw from him early on with him and Tanaka, we are well ahead of Burnley with the possession. In the game, we control the game. Burnley don't do that. The stats say that where they're ranked as opposed to where we are. So if we can control the game, we're going to create moments. And I think with them two in there, I'd be a lot more happy as a centre-half knowing I had the defensive security of them two.
Yeah, well, Leeds come into this game on an 11-match unbeaten run. The last one, of course, being, the last two at home, 2 wins, and Norwich 2-0. Let's just take a look back at that game. Bridgie Stewart-Dallas was sat where you were sat at the weekend, and he was saying, don't underestimate, as fans, how difficult it is to go those 2 home games in quick succession and to go and do it. Because sometimes, I guess, we're a little bit guilty of looking at them, ticking them off, well, that should be 3 points, and that should be 3 points. But to go out and do what they did and to back it up against the previous match is a really good showing.
That's exactly what Sunderland did against Plymouth at the weekend when Simon said they've slipped up, they've gone, this is an easy win. There's no easy games in this. And the week before, Sunderland should have beat Burnley. It ended up 0-0, and they should have done that. So this early start and this early goal was absolutely vital. And I just thought that, it's one of them, the fans are going, this could be like 4, 5, 6. It's not how it works out, but you've got to find the back of the net. And that's why I think tonight it's all about being clinical for me. And Stewie was right, with these games coming thick and fast, it's just about getting the 3 points.
This is a fantastic goal. And like you're touching on there, when you've played a big game physically, mentally against Sheffield Wednesday on the Sunday, you're playing again on the Wednesday, the early fillip and an early goal gets everybody going. The juice is going for the players, the supporters. If Norwich carried on playing like they did and sat back and parked the bus, it might have been a bit of a flat game, but we got the early goal and really won comfortably. It was far more easier against Norwich than it was against Sheffield Wednesday 3 days before.
And I'd watched Norwich a few weeks prior to this, and they were happy just to play passes around at the back to basically try and just bore and suffocate the opposition to come out. And when the team didn't go and press, it was horrendous to watch. That early goal really got us on our way there.
Dan James, we spoke to after the match here on Matchday Live, very generous with his time, and he was talking about, we mentioned the relationship between him and Manor Solomon, obviously the 2 wingers combining, and they're set to start again tonight. But Dan was keen to point out it's the relationship down the right-hand side for him with Jayden and the ball coming down in that and Brendan linking in those areas as well, and how strong it's been for him to know that, he's got that wide partnership, but also down his flank, it's looking really strong.
Yeah, look, it's all about partnerships all over the pitch, and you get an understanding, and Jayden and Dan James have certainly got that understanding. Sometimes Dan James will go more inside and allow the space for Bogle come on the overlap. Sometimes Dan will stay wider and allow Bogle to come make his runs through the middle, and Aronson linking in as well. I think that triangle of play has been really effective, and I think down the other side as well it's been just as good as well, because Solomon seems to have got a good relationship with Sam. Sam will be first to admit that he's not going to be bombing on as much as Bogle, but he still gets forward. You see him in high advanced areas if Manu's gone inside. Vice versa, sometimes you'll see him go through the middle. So it is building relationships, and everybody's playing with so much confidence. That plays a big part. That doesn't just come
from the players. That's the coaching aspect that goes into it, because you don't want them on the same lines. Like Simon was alluding to, one inside, one on the outside. If they're both playing high and wide, that's 2 players doing the same job. So the understanding of the players being coached so well to know when to do it, at what part of the field, who's got the ball, there's a lot goes into that. And I think Dan James is obviously having one of his best seasons ever. This is what he's been promising for so many years, and he's relishing it.
Okay, well, let's hopefully they can repeat the feat tonight with some more goals against, as we mentioned, the best defensive record in the Sky Bet Championship and actually in English football at the moment. Okay, just under 15 minutes to go until kick-off tonight at Turf Moor. Let's head to our commentary team, get their thoughts. Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
It's windy, cold and wet here at Turf Moor. Just how we like it, hey Tony?
Why did I leave Australia, by the way? Anyway, it is conditions are difficult, and the team news though, only one change. So Gruev comes in and Rothwell drops out. So yeah, big game. Really excited about this one.
What do you think the thinking is there? What does Gruev give you, maybe in a sense that Joe Rothwell wouldn't on a night like tonight?
I think certainly when you're going away against a team that haven't conceded too many goals, they're clearly strong coming down from the Premier League, extra bite in midfield. So without the ball, that's really where I think Gruev will probably have the edge on Rothwell. Yes, we lose something from set pieces and driving forward, but I think we've got a lot of players out there that can really do damage to this side. So maybe that's why.
Well, nobody's managed to do too much damage to them here at Turf Moor yet this season. They're unbeaten here.
They are, and it's always the first time. Conceding only 9 goals is really impressive. In fact, probably the best it's been for many a league, many a year. However, I think I look back at the first game we played against them. I thought we dominated, we didn't take our chances. Clearly it's a different game completely tonight, but with 2 good sides up against it, going for obviously getting promotion. It's a huge game, one that we can't lose. I'd love to win it though.
Is that the bottom line, one that Leeds don't want to lose rather than one that Leeds have to win?
I look at it as, yes, we don't want to lose it, but I also think with the team that we've got and the way that we play, these big games take care of themselves. They'll be going for all 3 points.
Right, time to get back in the warm and the dry. See you later.
Poor Bryn. You're in the wrong gig, Bryn, if you were expecting a warm, dry, lovely weather in January in Burnley.
It's lovely.
I'm having a very nice time.
I bet hot flushes a bit too hot here.
We'll pop the kettle on for the start of the match and everything. Yeah, big one tonight. Let's focus a little bit on the opposition tonight. They are right up there, and rightly so, because they have been pretty good this season as well. They turned us over here at Elland Road, as we know, with that 1-0. They're 16 unbeaten now. November the 3rd was the last time they lost a game. They're just very consistent, aren't they?
Yeah, look, Scott Parker's gone in there and done a really good job, and working hard on the training ground to not concede the number of goals that they have is remarkable, to be fair, because I think Bridges got a stat that it's like 240 odd shots the opposition have had and only scored 9 against them. That tells you they've got a good goalkeeper, but also they're making blocks and stuff like that. So they're well structured, they've got some good attacking players, but yeah,
So I look at that stat as well and you go, wow, how good have they been only to concede 9 goals? The worrying side for Burnley, which is a positive for us as Leeds fans, the 260 odd shots that they have faced this season, that shows that we are going to get opportunities against them and we've got to be clinical. So this game that I saw Sunderland, Isidore missed 2 penalties against them. They had 2 really good chances in that game. Sunderland dominated and they couldn't get away to score. But as opposition managers and coaches and players, you look at that and you go, lads, there's opportunities here. And when we get our chances, we've got to make sure we take them, because that is a lot of chances to have against you. But then the clean sheet record is incredible as well. They've had 19 clean sheets. So they don't concede many, but I'll tell you what, they do allow opposition a lot of chances.
Depends how clinical them shots are as well.
Yeah, exactly.
200 might have been going out for throw-ins or whatever. They might not have had to defend too much.
They're coming off the back of a big win against Plymouth, although not necessarily the benchmark of one of the stronger teams in the league. Actually scored 5 in that, which is
incredible goals as well.
Great goals. Yeah. It's kind of boosted their goal scoring ratio quite a bit. But generally speaking, they don't concede many. They're in, relatively speaking, quite tight games, and they just go out and do the business.
And there's one of them players I was looking at, Brownhill, 9 goals this season, 4 assists. He's been instrumental. I believe that you gave him his debut as well.
Yeah, when I was at Preston, he was 16, 17, and he made his debut at Gillingham away, which is not a classic game, but he's gone on to have a fantastic career. Bristol City, and been at Burnley for a number of years now. Lovely lad.
And a key player for them now.
Yeah, he is, and he's captain, I think, as well, but let's hope he has a nightmare game tonight.
Must be a bit
Sorry, Josh.
Must be a bit like watching kids grow up, that. When you give them a debut and stuff from a manager point of view.
Yeah, look, and you do look back at times and think, yeah, I'm so pleased with these players that have taken their opportunities, especially the ones that work really hard and maybe not the most talented. And not just saying Josh isn't like that, Brownhill, but some players are gifted more and they just throw it away at times when they're real honest professionals and they grab an opportunity so young. It's immensely proud that you can help with their development at some point. He might not say the same thing.
We'll revisit it after the game. That's what we'll do, Simon. OK, Burnley, we know, are the best defensive record in the Championship. Leeds United aren't that far behind, though, and key to that has been one of the central pairing, defensive pairing of Joe Rodon, who gave his thoughts earlier this week to LUTV.
You got a bit of time to prepare for this game against Burnley. There'll be a lot of outside noise around this one because of where both clubs are in the division. So again, what's your kind of mindset? What's your focus, and what would be the key messages within the camp building up to this game?
Yeah, I think even after the final whistle last night, I was already thinking about next Monday. You know, as we all know, they're a very strong team, and you know they're doing very well. And like I said, they're very, very hard to break down, as you've seen in the table. So no, I think it's just going to be another important week for us where the boys are going to knuckle down and work hard, and we have a bit of time to prepare, which is always nice and good. So no, I think straight away after the game yesterday, we're in today preparing and recovering, and yeah, we're just all getting ready and really excited for the game next Monday.
Is the result between the two sides at Elland Road earlier this season, is that an annoyance for you, the way they won the game? Yeah, of course, and this is part of football. There's going to be ups and downs, but like I said, that's it's been a while since then. That was very early on in the season, and I feel like we've improved as a team and we've grown together. There was a lot of new faces come in back then, so no, I think we're on a good path right now, and we're building momentum. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna prepare right and get ready for this game. Yeah, you mentioned Burnley's defensive record, which is sensational, but our attacking record is also sensational. So you'd be backing the attacking players and the team to be able to break that Burnley side down, won't you? Yeah, but not just Burnley's defence, their attack as well. They're up there for a reason. They score goals also. So overall, their team is very strong, and we respect that, and we know it's going to be a very, very difficult game. So all we can do is prepare, and as we always do, and prepare right, and hopefully on the night, we're there and we're successful. I guess though, there's excitement about a game like this, isn't it? A game under the lights, a lot of focus on it. These are the games you want to play in. Yeah, this is what everyone wants to be a part of. The top teams coming up against each other this time of the season, and we know how important it is, and they know how important it is. So yeah, I think it's one for everyone to be excited for, and we look forward to the game next Monday night.
Joe Rodon there giving his thoughts. They know how important it is. We know how important it is. That's the sentiment, and I think everyone around this game tonight knows, Simon, just how important it is.
Yeah, it is. Everybody knows what's at stake, but you've still got to remember it's just another game. And Daniel, I think, is a perfect coach to be in charge of a game like this tonight, because he don't get too carried away and he don't get too low. He'll have the same sort of formula that he's going into the game. He'll have done his work on what they can hurt them, and we can certainly hurt them without a shadow of doubt. So yeah, it's going to be a really intriguing game. There are 2,500 Leeds fans there behind that goal. They'll be certainly giving it full volume, won't they?
There is the opportunity, and we can't skate away from it, to put a 4-point buffer there if we win tonight between first and second, and really start spreading things down to Sunderland in fourth place as well. So that's the prize that potentially lies at the end of it, Bridgie.
Well, the gap is between obviously the top four now, and then there's a gap off to the fifth and below. Like you said tonight, no more incentive needed. Go there when Sheffield United have slipped up, Sunderland have slipped up, and we're playing Burnley, are obviously in and around the mix as well. So yeah,
it'd be nice to go into this game actually knowing what the other results have gone in our favour, because after the Sheffield Wednesday game, everybody had played and won on the Sunday. Everybody had more or less played on the Tuesday when we played on the Wednesday. So there's a little bit sort of less pressure, but then again you could say there's more pressure because the results have gone for us. So,
and after seeing Bryn and Tony in the sideline with the rain and with the wind, you never know whether that can play a massive part in the game style as well. It'll suit us on the floor with the possession, but if it's swirling and things like that, mistakes can happen. So you've got to be on your guard, because as strikers, I loved it when it was wet, because you knew you'd get a mistake out of a goalkeeper, and I just hope it's their goalkeeper that makes a mistake and not ours.
In terms of the game, you always have these little subplots, don't you? Yeah. A couple of players for Burnley that, of course, are very familiar with our squad, Connor Roberts and Jayden Anthony, who were both here last season and both contributed in their own ways to some really good stuff that happened last season as well. Is that interesting for the players, that kind of dynamic of coming up against those where you've been close to these guys and you're suddenly on the opposite side?
Yeah, look, I think as players, you know your teammates' strengths and weaknesses. So if Sam Byron's up against Anthony, he'll think, I've got to be careful that they've got to give him too much room. And on the other side of it, lads will be saying about Connor Roberts going, well, you take him this way, and he won't know anything about Manu Solomon in terms of just watching him play. And maybe we can get some of his deficiencies into the game, and Manu can have a good game again.
Would you, as a coach, like Scott Parker, with them two players at his disposal, knowing that they were ex-Leeds players, would you ask the players for any information of what they were doing as a setup?
Yeah, you would try and use that to your advantage. To be fair, most players give you a funny look and go, what are you on about? Never listened to anything the manager was saying. But you do try and draw from the experience of circumstances, strengths and weaknesses. I would go more to the players and say, where do you think we can hurt him and do this against him, basically.
I love it when you're on the couch. It's like a little therapy session for you, isn't it? A sort of ex-manager therapy session. Have a think about it. There is Ethan Ampadu just sort of taking his thoughts in Ilya Gruev, who starts tonight with the players. Simon, if you were there, what would have been your last words sending these guys out on a really big occasion like this?
Well, as you do every game, sort of have no regrets. Make sure that when you go out there, you'll see to your right-hand side 2,500 Leeds supporters. And I remember going there in the Championship, and we were 2 down at half-time, and the dressing rooms were bang below the Leeds supporters. And I didn't have to say anything at half-time. I said, listen to them lot above us, and let's go and do it for them. And we won 3-2. So then they do play a big part, the supporters, tonight.
Okay, Bridgie.
And I'll tell you what, we've already won the battle of quality in clothes and clobber, because that tracksuit top, I've just been and bought the Leeds United tracksuit top in the club shop this afternoon. It's far better than Burnley's. We've won the tunnel dressed. Let's go and do it on the pitch.
You don't buy anything. You must have got it free.
All right, lads. We've got through half an hour. Don't need to do this. Here come the players on a big night for Leeds United at Turf Moor. Can Leeds extend their lead at the top of the Sky Bet Championship? Let's head over to the gantry. It's Brynlaw and Tony DeRigo.
Cheers, Rich. Well, we've had the big build-up. Now we've got the big event, and goodness me, does it have the feel of a big event. Terrific atmosphere, loads of noise around the ground. Leeds End absolutely packed. Thousands have made the trip over the Pennines for this one. It's cold, it's wet, it's windy. It has everything that you require.